For Victims and Villains, my name is Josh, and today we are going camping. This is Pitfall. Pitfall depicts a group of friends that go camping, and one of the friends goes astray from the rest of the group and ends up in a fall, and it's basically a search party until things go a little bit bump in the night. So I think back to when I saw and reviewed Fall a couple of years ago and how everyone loved that movie but me, and I'm just starting to think that I'm not a survival horror kind of guy. Now, don't get me wrong, with that statement, I'm sure you're like, this guy hated this movie. This movie had its moments, and it's an okay movie, but overall, yes, I was not a huge fan of this movie. It was good for a one-time view. This movie just felt largely really predictable to me. And that feels like a really, really terrible thing for me to say because I really loved every performance here from its core cast. Now, there's not one particular performance that stands out above the rest, but everyone fires and just absolutely gives it their all. And this is it's a valiant effort from its cast, and even some of how its direction is set up. James Kondelik is the film's director, and he does a phenomenal job at directing this movie. I think the way that certain shots are set up, or the way that the suspense is delivered, or the way that certain lines are delivered, I think he just does a really great job at having really commanding control over the direction of this movie. And while I think Kondelik does a great job at directing the movie, the pacing of this movie was kind of something that I really kind of was not a huge fan of. So this film kind of takes place over two different timelines. There's the main storyline, and then you have a couple of the characters that encountered a tragedy 5 years ago, and you're learning how that 5 year ago is impacting the current day that you're kind of watching unfold, and kind of how the two kind of parallel one another, which I thought from a story perspective I really appreciated. But overall, I just kind of felt this movie really lagged, and its pacing was a real issue for me. Like, I understand the story that they were trying to tell, and again, I just think every time I open my mouth during this video, I keep reaffirming the fact that this is not necessarily a movie for me as an audience member. I just might not necessarily be the audience for this movie, and that's okay. I feel like with the pacing of having two distinct storylines and kind of how they feed off one another, I really would have wanted to kind of see a little bit more from the 5 year perspective and kind of running a little bit parallel with it. But it kind of only seems like the flashbacks happen when it's convenient for what's happening in the present day. And I really did find that really troublesome from a viewing perspective. Like, I found that it really kind of just made the film really predictable for me, which is really sad because that 5 year relationship to the present day is also supposed to be the emotional core of this, but instead of actually kind of really engaging with these characters on a deeper emotional level, I really just kind of found myself at a space where I kind of predicted what was going to happen, and 9 times out of 10, I ended up being right, which was kind of frustrating as a viewer. I really do love the gags in this movie. I think they are used very sparingly, but they are used effectively. The practical effects work really well here as well, kind of complementing those gags in a really profound way. But with that said, I'm ready to run this one through our Rorschach rating scale. I'm going to go ahead and give Pitfall a 3 out of 5. Overall, I thought this movie was just kind of okay. The acting is good, the directing is phenomenal, and the gags work really well. I had a lot of issues with the pacing. I kind of felt this movie really did drag itself for a payoff that really wasn't all that phenomenal to me. I also kind of found it a little bit too cliche. And also at the same time, also found this movie to be just kind of really missing the mark when it hit some of those emotional things, especially how this film kind of deals with the fallout of trauma. I felt like it kind of just really kind of took the easy way out, and that was really frustrating for me. Pitfall is now playing in theaters everywhere, but if you guys have seen it, comment below and let me know what you guys thought. Maybe I'm alone in this, maybe I'm not. But in the show notes below, you guys will also find links on where you guys can catch it in your local city if it is playing in it, because it is currently playing in limited release currently right now. However, you guys will also find links to our show notes, including our mental health resource library, as well as our suicide prevention resources, more movie reviews like this, our podcast network, links to our social media, how to support us financially, and that subscribe button. So until next time, remember to keep it classy and stay just a little bit away from the edge.